happened was that when I saw the first marathon, sort of got inspired and said, I really want to do this. And that year we went to Germany, and I realized that I needed to really prepare myself. So in the summer, I went to a bookshop, and out of a shelf that was roughly about 5 meters long and stacked full with various training methods for marathon, I randomly picked one. And this turned out to be a very good method that afterwards Ingmarie and Sourya also followed. This method is called Run Less, Run Faster, and it involves a lot of cross-training rather than a too high volume in terms of kilometers. We do cross-training, and that can be either swimming or cycling or rowing, as in the case of Sourya.
Ready, and go! The 2010 third annual Auroville Marathon has begun, and the runners make their way towards the beginning of the 42-kilometer full marathon. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr.
You guys start off in the dark, you got uneven roads, you got potholes everywhere, it's hard to see where you're going, the directions and everything, huh?
Don't forget that we have the home advantage. We know all these potholes, and we know all these roads and every detail of it because we've been over and over and over these roads in the last 4 months. And so that definitely gives us a big advantage over runners that come from Bangalore or Chennai just for the event. They're not used to trail running. I think this is more trail run than it is, you know, the normal kind of city marathon. So, still, you know, you have to watch where you're going. That's clear. And if you don't watch, you might end up, you know, injuring yourself, and that would be a short stop for the rest of the event. But other than that, I think that it's a great route, beautiful, you know, countryside kind of forest running. So that part of it is very enjoyable.
It's the second time, huh?
Yeah.
This time better timing than the last time?
Yes, I managed to take 15 minutes off my previous time. The previous marathon was very different. I trained alone for the most part, and so there was even less that sort of pressure on running a particular time. I did roughly try to stay below 5 hours, and I managed by about 10 seconds the first time around. And this time, thanks to the ladies here, the training was much more structured, and where I used to take shortcuts the year before, they wouldn't allow any shortcuts. They were very strict in terms of distances and times that had to be kept. So, so in the end, the whole preparation was much better than the time before. I felt it during the run. I didn't feel, you know, at any point that I'd reached the utter limit, you know, hit the wall, as they say. That didn't happen. You run basically at the end of your reserves, that's clear, for the last 10 Ks, and you can feel it. You know that you have to, at one point I had to reduce my speed a little bit, because I knew the last part was quite hard. Going up towards Pichandikulam, that's not an easy stretch, so I didn't want to, you know, burn out there. But for the rest of it, it was actually more or less according to schedule.
The hardship came a little bit later, kind of at kilometer 37. I was thinking about it this morning, and I remember at kilometer 37 particularly, I thought to myself, this is ridiculous. That was the word that popped into my head. Like, we're still going, and and it's come that far. And then of course you can't stop because you've come that far at that point. But it was a bit absurd because you're sort of, I felt almost disconnected from that reality, because you're just going through this experience.
On the tar road. Do you find that hazardous?
Yes. But at the same time, I think that part of the route couldn't be avoided necessarily. My understanding was that stretch needed to be incorporated, specifically on the second round where you're just exhausted and you don't want a big lorry coming towards you. That was a bit daunting. I was glad we were staying on the right, though. I'm glad we didn't have to cross and then cross back over at the Chandakon. That would have been a disaster.
I had two cyclists that were there cycling right next to me, pushing the cars, the oncoming cars aside, and so that was, I felt quite protected there. That was a good one. That wasn't bad.
Congratulations! I remember when he used to be a dancing
No, in that last thing, I just thought just rest down that hill, and then I don't know what happened.
We're walking, right?
I did 4:45. I did the time specified.
4:45, huh?
Andy, you cut off 15 minutes from last year's time.
Yeah, I caught 15 minutes, yeah.
That's amazing. And you did 4:35 or 4:38?
No, something around. No,
You must have 5 minutes.
In what time?
I don't know.
Bam! Legs like steel springs. Pedaling him down the...
Gabby for me was really, she really helped me well. She would come back because they were in front of me, so she would cycle with them and then she would come back and check on me and then go back, and then she's the one who found me just when we crossed here in Certitude, and she saw me and she was like, Sourya, there you are, and then she called, I don't know who it was, and said, yeah, she's coming, and then she escorted me, and then there was Aris, Zidan, and Krishna, our 3 youngsters who were at Samasti Gate, and they were there, and I was running along, and I was wondering, what are they doing here? And so I crossed them, and then they came behind me and boxed me in, and they were like cheering me on and saying, oh, Sourya, you're doing so good. And I was like, wow, that's great. And they're like, yeah, we're escorting you till the finish line. And that gave me wings. That was really super.
I had a cold since 2 days, so I got very tired. And finally, what's the point if you decide to run? Because I thought, well, I trained for it, so let's get to the start line and see what happens. And now how you feel? Much better than I thought I would feel. I'm good.
I tell you, my congratulations to all 3 of you. I thought running 242 kilometers is a fantastic event, and my hat is off to all of you.
Thanks, Francis. And you want to know because you've done it yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
But I'll see you next year, huh?
For sure.
Yes, is that for sure?
Absolutely.
That's on
yeah.
Absolutely?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. We'll see you then. Have a good year.
Thank
Nice.
you. Bye.
Happy running. Yeah.